All right, second framework is TREE, TREE, task, role, expectations, and execution. And so this is one where you are using AI to help you in building systems, checklists, or processes. So it's a little bit more of a building framework is kind of how I would look at this. But I do have one use case that I really like this for. I like to use this for SOP creation, policy authoring, building workflows, such as maybe like a client onboarding or a new employee onboarding or a ticket managing workflow, right? It can automate that or streamline that or identify gaps. Sales enablement tools or sales enablement strategies. The one that I like to use this for actually is going to be interview prep and mock responses. So the reason I like this particular framework in this specific scenario is because I can really make sure that the expectations are set. So this is where we can say the quality standard is going to be, we will maybe in the mock interview scenario, we want AI to be so convinced at hiring us that they offer us the job in the interview. That is the bar. And if the AI is not willing us to offer us a job, say so and provide feedback and why, right? So breaking down tree is T is task. What is the action or output that the AI is going to perform? Again, for the interview prep, this is going to be something like you are going to ask me 10 interview questions spanning behavioral, storytelling, cultural, and technical. The role is going to be who is the persona or who should the AI adopt from an expertise perspective. Sticking with this interview scenario, AI is going to be the hiring manager for blank job description, right? You provided the job description so that it knows the context of who it's a hire or what it's a hiring manager for. The expectations. This is what I was saying is where you put your quality standards or must-haves in the response. So this is where you're going to say that I must achieve a compelling state to where you must want to offer me, or you must be compelled to offer me the job on the spot. If that is not the case, then I need you to break out for me feedback on my interview style, on things such as my tonality, storytelling, and length of answers. Lastly, the second E is execution. And this is how the final output should be structured or formatted. So in this case, again, in the interview scenario, you will take the output and the feedback that you have and put that into a table to where on the first column is the question that was asked. The second column is the feature of my tonality in which you are judging and the appropriate response therein.